Got some of these lying around the house? I'm gonna show you why you shouldn't throw these away. So on YouTube, I noticed a lot of people were using those swimming noodles as well as these cardboard tubes, which is what I had lying around the house. That's why I went with this. These candle holders were super easy to make, and I think you guys should give it a try. So stay tuned, because I'm gonna show you how to make your own custom candle holders. Let's go.
Alright guys, let's jump into this. So the first thing I'm doing is just rough sketching out what I want Venom and Carnage's faces to look like. This will be entirely up to you. You can go with the more traditional comic book look or the movie adaptation, but we haven't seen what Carnage is going to look like on the big screen yet, so just do what feels right to you. Alright, after that's done, we're ready to move to the next step. Grab some masking tape. I'm just going to secure these down to my cutting board here. I'm going to get some foil, which I also got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to start building up the face. As I said, this is entirely up to you. You can make this as large as you want or as thin as you want. I found it easier to work in smaller sections. As you can see, I'm building up one side of his face with just some rolls of foil. Then I'm coming down here to the bottom to align his jawline, and then I'm going to move on to the tongue. So I wanted the tongue to be 3D. I didn't want it to lay flat. I am pressing it flat there, but I'm going to go back and make it more 3D. And you'll find putting just little pieces of masking tape down where you want to build the face up will help hold everything in place, and you won't go crazy trying to keep reforming everything. So next thing I'm doing is moving on to the teeth. These are for Venom. I just got some little pieces of foil and rolled them together to mimic teeth, and now I'm just kind of building up the bottom layer because, as I said, I want things to be 3D and to stick out a little bit. For Carnage, I just kind of did this accordion effect, you know, just kind of zigzag the foil paper because Carnage had a different set of teeth, and I just started to form them into his mouth, make sure I like the way they fit, and then I'll just be gluing them down. And again, working in smaller sections will definitely help you. And this doesn't have to be perfect because Carnage nor Venom's teeth are perfect. They have some very jacked up teeth, but we just want to give the effect of some 3D teeth. Up next, we want to grab that trusty glue gun and start covering the entire surface to create the Symbiote ooze effect all over this. So again, this also doesn't have to be perfect. You just kind of want to make sure you cover all the areas of the Venom and Carnage's face. I pulled the tongue out to make it a little bit more 3D, so I'm just going over the tongue here as well. As you can see, I'm looping it around, also getting some of the drip effect of the Venom slime. Next thing I'm going to do is just cut these out with my XActo knife. And all I'm doing here is just putting down a thin layer of glue to fill in the eyes. I tried to keep this as thin as possible because I wanted the detail of the face to pop out more. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect. You can always go back and add more layers to the face to build it back up if that's what you want to do. Moving right along, folks, let's go ahead and grab those paper towel rolls because we're going to start building up the base for our candle holder. So all I'm doing here is just covering the ends with some foil. You can just do this with some regular newspaper. And I'm just going to go ahead and secure it down with some more masking tape because we're going to go ahead and start stuffing this with some rocks. I got these rocks from the Dollar Tree. Of course, you can just go outside and pick up some, and those will be free. Just a good handful to do. I only added the rocks in there so it didn't feel so cheap and flimsy, and also to stabilize these bases. And these LED lights, I got them from, you guessed it, the Dollar Tree. I am just testing these to see how far I want these to stick out from the candle's edge. Once I found the correct depth, I went ahead and put a little foil down to create a base. That way I know they won't fall through the holder. The rocks gave it some good weight, but I did want to just make sure these things didn't fall over, so I'm just going to use a little cardboard here and create a base. Not something you have to do, but you can. And I'm just hot gluing that all down. Here comes the fun part, venomizing these candlesticks. So I'm just taking the hot glue gun and just filling in every area of this that needs to be filled with hot glue, and gluing the backs of these so we can attach these faces to the actual candle holders. So again, any open areas or gaps, you want to make sure you cover that and fill that in completely with hot glue. Then just take your hot glue and run the Venom and Carnage ooze all over the candle holder. You can put as many slime lines over this as you want. Like I said, this is entirely up to you. I added more along the top to make this candle look like it was dripping with this waxy ooze. You're gonna want to do the same thing to the base, as this is where all the slime is gonna eventually start to pile up. And once you're happy with that, we can move along to my favorite part of this, painting. So I'm using spray paint here, but you guys can definitely use acrylic paint. Either one will work. And once they're dry, you can move on to the next step. So you can leave your LED lights like this, but I thought it would be better if they match the rest of the base. So I'm just going to go ahead and Venomize this out as well. So using the base as the guide, I can see just how far I need to go down to make this slime drip. And of course, you're going to want to do that for both candles. Next, we're going to go ahead and cover up the LED part of this. So I'm just using some masking tape to cover up the flame, and we're going to paint them. So with some acrylic paint and a paintbrush, I'm gonna just start dry brushing some details on the Venom candle, just going over all the slime lines as well as the details in his face. And now I'm just taking some white acrylic paint and bringing out his eyes as well as some red on his tongue. So using a reference photo and some black acrylic paint, I started to bring out the face of Carnage. Now with that same black paint, I'm gonna go over each one of Carnage's slime lines, being careful not to touch the base of the candle. And just like Venom, Carnage will need his eyes to see, so I'm just using some white acrylic paint to paint those in. And to give him a little bit more definition, I'm taking this sponge and just dabbing on some gray acrylic paint all over the black slime lines. And as always guys, it should go without saying, don't forget to protect your work with a varnish or a Mod Podge. So I'm going over this entire thing with about 2 coats of Mod Podge. Then after that, set them aside to dry.
And here they are, the Venom and Carnage Symbiote candle holders. So just a few takeaways from this project, guys. Even after sealing this with the Mod Podge, I did notice when I would remove this, it did have some paint chipping, so you know that is something that might happen. And although it might fit, I wouldn't recommend putting one of the regular T-flame candles in here. The heat from the flame might actually start to melt the hot glue and possibly cause a fire, and we don't want that. So as for me, I'm just gonna be using these LED candles that I got from the Dollar Tree. And again guys, you can make this as simple or as advanced as you want. Just painting these as a solid color, dripping hot glue down the sides to act like candle wax would also do the trick for a more simplified look. Because I know not all of us are comic book nerds. But for those of you who are, I do hope you try these. And if you do, please tag me. Use the hashtag ConceptLT so I can see them. Now it's a little question and answer time. Comment below which one you like better, Venom or Carnage. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit the 3-button combo. Subscribe, like, and turn on notifications. I'm moving on to the next project guys. This video's all wrapped up, but I'll catch you on the next one. Hey, if you liked that video, be sure to check out some of my paintings and other custom projects.